Welcome to Family TV. Today we have a Wild Badger 4-1 multi-tool. Let's put it together. Come a little bit closer. All right, so what I want to do is show you here exactly how it kind of comes. I just pulled everything out of the box. So this is like the main power head here, okay? It's where the battery goes. You have to install the handle, and then of course this is the weed whacker. Now this would be the weed whacker set. Then it comes with a hedger. All right, so this is the nice hedge head, I guess you want to call it, fully adjustable. So we'll see this a little later. We'll use all these. And this is the chainsaw. This is how the chainsaw comes. You have to put the bar on with the chain. No big deal. It comes with also a brush cutter, shoulder strap, which is really nice, you know, so you can take a break and let it just hang. It comes with some tools, owner's manual, and this is the nice battery. I like the Wild Badger 40-volt battery. I have one that goes with my chainsaw from Wild Badger. I have another couple tools that use this 40-volt battery, so it's really nice to kind of stay in the same battery platform. All right, so now we're gonna put together the hedger, all right? So you have this extension pole, and you have one side that's like a square. That's the part that goes into the motor, and you have this other one that looks like a spline. So we just basically are gonna put that inside here, and what we're gonna do is line up this hole that's right here with this bolt right. And we're gonna run that bolt in, that's gonna keep it kind of together. Use the supplied, now we're gonna put the chainsaw together, all right? So we'll just pull this off. There's a bolt, little notch there, all right? That goes on there. And then on here, it actually shows you which way the chain goes, okay? So if we look at that, yeah. So we wanna line up the chain with the diagram on there. So now that's on the bar, this adjuster all the way out, and we're gonna go onto it like so. All right, from there, you're just basically gonna put this handle on and run your screw in. And use the included wrench. So we're gonna tighten this, run this in until the chain's tight. Like you kind of want it like that, maybe a little bit tighter, especially the first time you're using it because it's gonna stretch. You want it pretty tight. So see how that barely comes off? That's probably good, maybe just a little hair. As soon as you start using this thing, it's gonna stretch and loosen up. And then we just tighten this down. Chainsaw attachment is put together. You just pull that out, put it in, it locks in, and you kind of run this in to really tie it in. And this is where our battery goes. Our battery does have an indicator on it, so we know it's full. We have this shoulder strap. All right, so now we got everything together. We're gonna go out and use each one of these attachments and kind of give you some feedback on how they perform. I actually don't like this. Really important the way you go. If you cut from right to left, watch. First the other way. All right, so this thing seems to be working. Let me just kind of give you a little bit of a tip. On here, it kind of shows this line here. All right, this tells you which way this is rotating, the string. So when I'm cutting, I want to be cutting like this and walking my way from right to left. Because if I go right to left, you see there, it pushes the grass out this way, right? If I was to go the other way, because the way this is spinning, I would actually start pushing the grass into the flower beds. Let me show you. It works fine. No issues with it. Like I said, you always want to pay attention to the way that you're weed whacking, especially when you're doing the edging, because you go one way, you're going to blow the grass into the flower beds. You go the other way, you're going to blow it into the grass. I didn't have any issues with it jamming up. I think the one thing we want to do is let's replace this string and see how easy or how hard it is to replace. Then we'll get into the chainsaw and the head. So this is usually the most frustrating parts of any weed whacker. So what I want to do is see how easy or how hard it is to maintain. So you just pull it off actually. And if we look inside, you have this reel in here. Okay, and that's to mention, they give you 2 extra ones here, actually. So you have 2 extra. To pull more string out, it's just a tap. So you just tap this on something and it feeds it. All right, so what I want to do though, is I'm going to unravel this thing. We're gonna see how hard it is to re-ravel because, like I said, this is usually the most frustrating part of any weed whacker. So let's pretend this was just some new string. This, I just even out the ends and I pull it. All right, so that's the end. Then we take it, and it actually says on here which way to wind the line. There's an arrow. So what we want to do is hook this end in there, and then we're just going to rotate it around. I usually put my finger on this middle spindle and just kind of go like this. So let's see.
Is it normally more of a pain in the butt than this?
This is pretty normal, I would say. Now that you have it like that, you have like one on this side and one on this side, right? Obviously you want them on the opposite sides. You take it, you put it in here, like so, and I'll put it down on the table, it might be easier. Then from here, what you do is you take this side, you put it in there, right? You hold that down, this side, and you put it in there, okay? So now you have it like it's supposed to be on the mower or on the weed whacker, and we're just gonna push it in. Push it on, and there you go. Now what'll happen is when you run this the first time, that's what this is for. It's actually a cutter. This will size your, but what I like to do, because sometimes it'll actually wind itself in there, is I usually cut it a little bit. I do a pre-cut. This isn't mandatory. So that worked out pretty well. The reloading is pretty standard. One thing I will point out is if you do have any issues with this head, this is a universal screw top, it looks like. So you can just buy another one from many other companies that really specialize in this thing and replace this thing. I have some other ones, I've replaced them over the years. All right, another thing we're gonna look at is this screw right here. This screw right here is actually to lubricate this mechanism here. So if you pull this screw out, you just put some lithium grease in there and you can lubricate it. Maybe once a year you wanna throw some white lithium grease in there or whatever you have. Whatever kind of grease will work fine. As far as the weed whacker goes, I don't see any issues with it. I really like the balance of it actually. I don't like the straps. I threw the strap out right away. I kept feeling like it was on a weird pivot and I would every once in a while like dig into the ground. I guess if I was gonna use it, I would run it really, really long so that it's not like a pivot. And then what you could do is take a break. But with this being so light, you're not gonna have to take a break because it's, like I said, it's really light and it's very well balanced with this battery up here. It's almost like a nice little pivot point. You're kind of not even holding it. You're just kind of, maneuvering it, if that makes sense, okay? Any problems with this one so far? Let's try out the other tool. All right, I asked my son, which one do you want to play with next? He said the chainsaw, of course, because that's always the funnest. This is a reservoir for chain bar oil. They don't give you any, but it's real cheap. You can pick it up. Most people have it. You just pour a little bit in there. All right, so again, this attaches really simple. Okay, I will point out, this has a lubrication point right here, so you do want to lubricate this every once in a while.
What is that?
It's lube.
What is lube? What does it even do?
Now, one thing, we don't ever want this to touch any dirt or rocks or anything like that, of course, because it will dull it instantly. So this is obviously for reaching up far into trees. Now, you could take that additional pole that they give you for the hedger and attach it to this, I'm pretty sure, and double the length here, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this one down here. We got some safety glasses on. We're gonna reach up there. All right, so this is a dead tree. This is probably the biggest thing you wanna cut down with this thing. And that's not what this is for, but I just wanna, nice. So now we can use this for firewood. That is a hollow tree. Interesting, huh? What do you think? So this thing does work. It's definitely a light duty one, but it's just a nice option to have, especially if you're doing any kind of limbing or anything like that. All right, so let's get back. Let's go play with the hedger. Pretty neat. So you can actually grab it and, I could put it like this. So if I really, I wanted to top something, or I can also go this way. So let's say I had a hedge in front of me and I wanted to hedge it, right? Also, I could just have it straight out, right? And then you have a million adjustments right here. Different angles that you want to go. And it's got this nice big handle on there as well. Yeah, don't see any issues with it. I think it's a nice thing to have. I will point out there are 2 lubrication points, one here and one here, that you want to lubricate every, maybe every other time you use it. Just for the longevity of everything, it's definitely a good idea. And you want to keep these blades clean. Also, you want to keep them covered. So it does come with 2 covers, which I really like. So when you put this away in your shed or whatever, just so it doesn't get dinged up, put these covers on it. All right, so yeah, that's the Hedge. Very good, capable weed whacker that's got tons of power. You see all the stuff we've done. We've only used 1 bar. Right, so a weed whacker, you get 4 tools. I don't think you can go wrong. I also would recommend a lot of the other Wild Badger tools. I have a Wild Badger lawnmower, electric lawnmower. I have a Wild Badger chainsaw that works awesome. Great brand, you get them everywhere. I'm Mike, Family TV. I'll put a link to this down below if you want to pick one up yourself. If you do pick one up and you have any questions about it or any comment, leave me a comment down below. But I'm Mike, a Wild Badger, weed whacker, chainsaw, and hedger, and brush cutter out.